Okay, I have one question in a respectful way. I wish to know why the insistence on saving the planet? A planet that, without any kind of intervention, has shaped itself during millions of years, enduring intense heat, toxic gases, eternal icy climates, and molten soils. Why now, all of a sudden, planet Earth is not capable of withstanding a counterproductive factor? There is enough evidence from geology telling us that although the past 4 billion years haven't been any easy and billions of species and thousands of environments never thrived, it has been that difficulty, that administered adversity, the only thing that has allowed billions of other species and environments to exist. So I have to disagree with the expression saving the planet. Firstly, because planet Earth has never needed anyone to save it, and we won't change that. And secondly, because behind that phrase hides the reality that we simply wanted optimal for us to prevail. I mean, it's not even about the planet anymore, it's all about us. And I'm sorry, but we can't just break the rules. We were not always here, and we do not have to be. The planet has never had a constantly stable environment where species lasts forever. And whether those adverse conditions are created by us or not, we won't end this planet. It's not up to us. If anything, for Earth, we are just being like another version of basalt floods, a less heavy version of it, of course, which was this extraordinary event by the end of the Permian period, as it is called in geology, where 95% of species on Earth disappeared. And from such an event, millions of years later, during the Triassic, one animal will become the first ancestor of all mammals. I mean, with just one species having survived, that happened. So, the planet varies and creates from what's been submerged. It closes a door and opens a window. Those closer to the window will emerge, those in the corner of the opposite room won't make it. That has been the story here. And the only actual power capable of writing and editing that story has been the atmosphere. 175 million years ago, Earth was frozen for over 120 million years. Hear that. 120 million years frozen with nothing above the surface but ice and toxic air. And somehow, today, we've got tropical islands. It has always been the atmosphere, the one with the last word. There is no amount of plastic or greenhouse gases that can change that. The only thing procuring life forms and allowing new or dormant species to emerge within their respective niche has always been, it will always be, the atmosphere. So, we've been contaminating for around 2,000 years, right? Some claim that we've been contaminating much longer than that, since agriculture first appeared 10,000 years ago. Either way, the pollution that threatens us today is barely 240 years old, since the Industrial Revolution. None of these three references matter in a billion-year scheme. If we disappear today, 1 million years from now, there will be no trace of plastics. See what I'm getting at here? What is the idea behind this saving the planet? Among millions of species, have the mammals or marine creatures we consume today been the only ones that ever existed here? So much that we have to protect them at all costs? It is estimated that there are 10 quintillion insects in the world, 900,000 species, from which we consume 5. 400 billion birds, roughly 10,000 different species, from which we consume 11. 130 billion mammals, nearly 6,400 species. We consume 23. It's not what we consume, it's how we produce it. All right. Still, that threatens us, not the planet. The Earth has always worked with numbers prepared for mass extinctions. We've got 41,000 endangered species out of 8 million. This is less than 1%. That is 0.51%. So, what is the idea behind saving the planet? Why are humans cruel? Because of the ways they have learned to process food. What will we say if we ever come across another civilization from another planet and see that they have shaped their society by killing their environment and industrializing their planetary resources? Will we also want to save them? Will we start a movement against the planet Kepler-1649c? Will we say that they need balance? That they need to be ashamed of themselves? Can we think about how absurd and unfair will that be? We've simply done what we've been able to do. We have never really had another choice, neither a second chance for a fresh start to try something better. As civilization, we've just come up with the best strategy for us to thrive, and it has worked. And I'm not saying that it is okay to go out and declare death to our natural world. Today, with technology and science, we certainly don't have an excuse. Today, we know how to place a building in the least impactful way for the environment. We know how to use river water and return it without polluting it. Today, we know how to produce energy with sunlight. We can power vehicles with lithium batteries. We have just started to try. And we are even correcting mistakes, like the healing of the ozone layer. But also, realistically speaking, for those of us who do not have the power to decide about the construction of a factory or the manufacturing process of cars, we have nothing left but to forgive ourselves, hug ourselves, and stop living with the fear and anxiety that the planet is dying in front of our very eyes. We have to understand that things happen the way they had to, and we have no power over it. Yes, take care of how much water you use, have a pet, plants, separate your garbage, clean the beach, heck, give your vote to that politician who wants to concentrate efforts on reversing climate change. Everything we do consciously and with love matters, but we are not doing it to save the planet because we can't. Whatever we leave behind, the earth will know what to do with it, and so will the species, and they are already prepared for that. If not, look at the hermit crabs, which in the middle of a current shortage of shells because they are being used as souvenirs, are already integrating our waste into their genetic memory, replacing shells with bottle caps, cans, plastic cups. Some will survive with this method, some other won't. But nature already knows what's coming and is well prepared for that. And yes, perhaps this future will never get to achieve the stable climate it once had during our Quaternary, which is our current geological time, or evolution, while thriving again, will suddenly get interrupted by our collision with the Andromeda galaxy. But whatever happens to this planet, we won't be the ultimate power that gets to decide that. We are just another probably extinguishable species, and that's how we have to perceive ourselves. Let's try for as long as we can. Let's document all wildlife in the world. Let's keep pushing for other types of energy. But if we even get to live for as long as the dinosaurs did, 250 million years from now, we won't be here. we want.